Dear friends, I want to wish you a Shabbat Shalom. And this Shabbos we'll be reading the Torah portion of a Behaalotcha. And it begins talking about lighting the candelabra that was in the Mishkan and in the temple. This was one of the most important pieces of furniture that sat in the holy. So in the structure there were two roofs. One was called the Kodesh, the holy, which had in it the table where they put the showbread, which was changed weekly, the altar for the incense, the golden altar, which they brought incense every day, twice a day, and the menorah, which was lit once a day. The menorah was made out of one piece of gold that was chipped away till all of its intricacies and its fullness was completed. And then there was the Holy of Holies behind the curtain, or in the temple time behind the stone wall, which in it was the ark. Now the menorah is something that's hard to understand. We know that the altar, outside and inside, this is an important part of the purpose of the Mishkan, to bring sacrifices, incense on behalf of the Jews, to bring an offering to God. The ark held in it the tablets, the Torah. The table, the showbread, this is what Jews pray for all the time, is for parnasah, because everything comes from God. So we have to pray for livelihood, and this was symbolized by the showbread, like our challah symbolizes our blessing of food for the week. But the menorah, what was the purpose of the menorah? And we're actually told that in the temple that King Solomon built, the most grandeur building of its day, made out of stone, he made windows in the holy. But unlike the windows of all houses in that time, in a time when there was no electricity, so to bring as much light as you can in the house, on the outside there was a small opening, but these were stone thick walls, and on the inside the opening was much larger, so the glass or the material they used, the sunlight came in and then it spread around the whole room. But in the temple it was just the opposite. On the inside it was small and the outside it was big. As if the menorah was not there at all for light, because it didn't even light it during the daytime, and for the sun it brought in minimal light. So we're told that the reason it was so is because the menorah gives light to the world. So the purpose of the menorah was that the menorah light reflects spirituality, the soul. And the Jewish people had to know that we are really soul people. Our identity is our soul. But our soul is in a body. And just like in the candelabra, there were 6 branches, and the light in each branch had to be facing the middle branch, the center branch. So too it is in our life. We have many facets to life. There's a spiritual aspect of our life, but there are many other things that we delve into. There are many arts and sciences that we delve into, that we use to help develop our ability to live on a higher and a more quality level of life. You have sciences, you have math, you have all types of other ways that we express ourselves. And the menorah was a symbol that each way we express ourselves has to be guided and has to be directed through the light of Torah, through the light of the soul, which is a piece of God. Because just look at our experience in life. Social media, the internet, it's an incredible tool to be able to connect people to each other, to disseminate information in a very real way, to democratize the ability for people to know what's going on, not based on a few people who have a lot of money and write newspapers. And so many other ways Torah could be spread through the internet. But just look at the other side, how social media is being used to spread lies and hatred. And we as Jews are experiencing so much of its effect right now. And so it is with everything. Science has opened up the ability to allow people to overcome illnesses and live longer. But yet people are using sciences to minimize life and through science argue that life doesn't really begin when we know it begins when it's embryo in the mother's womb, or life doesn't end when God ends it, but when a person decides their quality of life is not good enough, and all other areas, all the great tools and abilities God put in the world could be used in either way. And our job is to make sure that we direct everything that we have under the guidance of the light of Torah, under the purpose of why God put us here in this world. And then we're able to use all these great tools and abilities, arts, sciences, math, and many other things, and communication, to be able to use them in a good and proper way that builds a productive, beautiful, successful society, that one that brings people together and allows the world to go forward, and not one that tries to kill humanity and our growth and progress. And this is why the menorah played such an important role. And that role had to be projected out to the rest of the world. Now, nowadays, light happens in our home every Shabbat. When a woman lights the candles for Shabbat for the home, you bring in that light that penetrates and permeates every one of us. That all the decisions and everything we'll do that coming week will be done by the light and guidance of Torah and Judaism. May it be God's will that the continued light that we light in every home, and please make sure you light the Shabbat candles, and all the light we bring through Torah and mitzvahs will guide not only us, but will project to the world that the